Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. It's a little bit crazy in the UK. Actually, I myself am scared to retweet something because they'll come after you and arrest you. And I think a lot of people have seen the video now where a police officers go into somebody's house and they start arresting him for Facebook crime. And he goes, "I'm getting arrested for Facebook crime," and they don't actually say what it was that he said. I have seen other stories from the UK that say that somebody had posted something criticizing a hotel where migrants were staying, and they said to go and sort of, maybe break the windows and things like that. And so that got him arrested. I don't know if that's the same person that got 20 months in jail for making a post. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And then someone here in Chilliwack, a woman got arrested for saying something negative or something regarding South Asians. I don't know what it is she said. Maybe somebody should let me know. I'm South Asian, as they like to call me. I call myself Indo-Canadian or Fijian Indian or whatever, but what'd she say? Like, was that offensive? Let me know if that was offensive. I wasn't really that offended by Trudeau's stupid outfits. I'm more offended by his policies than him dressing up like that. That was kind of funny. Everything else he's done since then ain't that funny. So, very scary what's going on in the UK right now. Just it's on the verge. It's a powder keg. It's erupting, and man, my kids are half British and I really hope that things get better, and I'm glad they live here. I do want to talk just quickly a little bit about some things going on in Canada. Canadian content, or is it con? Or are we Canadians being conned all the time? It's probably a little bit of all of that. Now, have you heard of this? You've seen this logo probably, BC Tree Fruits. You've seen this sticker. It's very recognizable. Well, BC Tree Fruits is over 50 million in debt, and it officially files for creditor protection, which is a really scary thing. And we all recognize this label, do we not? The co-op has a petition regarding its loan with CIBC. This is according to a Castanet article. This article was dated August 13th, I believe. But yeah, August 13th. A petition filed in BC Supreme Court shows the cooperative received a repayment notice last week related to more than $50 million in debts to CIBC. In mid-January, the interior saw several days of frigid temperatures that killed off active buds in trees that had only just begun to recover from the 2021 heat dome. Remember that heat dome? How did that get started? It's like somebody put a big suction of heat on top of us or whatever. So they had only just begun to recover from the heat dome and then had gone into a harsh winter in 2022. The petition says that the harvest for cherries was cut by 85 to 90%, while all other stone fruit harvests were reduced to zero. So I looked around from some stories, and I did see this one from Kelowna Now, and I thought it was really good.
Late last week, that it was dissolving the Fruit Growers Cooperative. They cited low fruit volumes, bad market conditions, and a difficult winter, and it sent growers scrambling to find somebody to pack and distribute their fruit. But now a group of growers are getting together who believe they may be able to stop all of this.
This decision was devastating. BC Tree Fruits is the backbone. It's what stabilizes prices for the industry. And so to save the facility, it's one of the most important things that we've got to do here.
You were showing me that this decision that was taken to close is something that, there's legal papers laying out the circumstances that would allow something like that to happen. There would need to be a special meeting where all growers could attend, but that hasn't happened. So it's not really legal, you're arguing?
Yeah. Our understanding of the BC Cooperatives Act, there's rules that have to be followed. And, under duties of directors, it says that there's nothing in the Act that allows directors not to follow the rules. And so what's happened is under the wind down section of the Act itself, it clearly states that if you're going to wind down, that it has to be done by the members through a special resolution. That hasn't happened.
So if you're able to get a pause on this. You've still got the difficulty of an organization that has debt, and with the difficulties with the crops, the prospects of digging out of that debt quickly are not great at the moment. So you probably need some government financial help as well.
Yes, the government, because of the way this is unfolding, the government is going to have to step in and help. And we're just trying to figure out what type of supports that we're going to need. In the industry, if the packing house was to shut down, there would probably be about 30,000 bins that would not have a home, and that fruit would be left on the trees to rot.
Post says the NDP are nowhere to be seen up here as we watch the future of BC fruit hang by a thread, yet they love talking about supporting local food, manufacturing, production, and small-scale farmers. This is my 5th time this year to support the BC tree fruits industry in the Okanagan. I don't think people realize the catastrophic situation that's happening with the tree fruits co-op closing. The facility up here is massive and supports hundreds of fruit farms, the main fruit production and exporter in BC. I also thought this post was interesting. There's a scramble and there's not enough places to keep our fruit. So we're either forced to just leave our fruit on the trees. That's kind of devastating because we've had a couple of rough years. So Premier David Eby says he's taking action to support BC tree fruit growers. So 15 million in direct payments to farmers through Agri-Stability Program. Hey, any farmers out there, let me know how that is working for you. Because a lot of these, when they throw money at something, it just is like a corporate, bureaucratic, governmental job pencil pushing thing. The money doesn't actually go to the people that need it. So let me know how these programs are working and how quickly they're getting them going. They should be done like that. 5 million tree fruit climate resilience program to combat crop loss due to climate events. Okay, well, put your money where your mouth is and let's see how fast they disperse the money, and let's see how quickly they get these problems resolved. Because if they don't, literally an apple is going to cost like $5.
And I heard another farmer say that the being an orchardist or growing fruit isn't as lucrative as it once was, obviously, because BC Tree Fruits had the market. It was a co-op. It had the monopoly. There are other fruit packing companies that can pack your fruit and distribute it to grocery stores and to markets. But the margins aren't really working out so well for the farmers, for the people that grow the fruit. So back in the day, maybe you could have 20 acres and you'd financially, that would do you okay. That would do you well. But now you're sort of just scraping by. So there are a lot of places that our tax money goes that we don't need it to go. I certainly want it to go to support the fruit industry in some capacity. I mean, and I don't want this, like I said, pencil pushing. Oh, we're going to launch this program and launch this. Get it done. I mean, get this sorted out and get the boots on the ground kind of help that people need. This is a weather dependent business that is fragile, and it's important to BC. The second thing I want to talk about is we had the Coutts 4, and we went down to the Coutts 2, and maybe like 2 weeks ago now, the closing arguments were heard in a Lethbridge courtroom, and what it had determined was that Chris Carbert and Toli Olenek are not guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. I want to show you their picture. Okay, so not guilty. Yet the government, they're still locked up. They're not out. They're still in their cells. And the Crown is appealing. The Crown is appealing this. This is another place your tax money is going. Like, the government is a bottomless pit. It's a bottomless pit of taxpayer money. And how they are allowed to appeal a verdict like this is just beyond me. The charges were dropped. There's some sort of mischief charge. And for mischief, you're going to be locked up for over 900 days? Whereas in Peel, there was a huge seizure. Like, it had like 200 charges were laid in what was the largest firearms seizure in Peel. Let me show you this.
Gun violence comes as Peel Regional Police announced they have carried out the largest ever seizure of illegal firearms in the service's history.
Each one of these firearms that you see before you represents a victim, other firearms offenses, other crimes, and countless harm to our community that we just cannot quantify or qualify.
Investigators say 71 guns were seized as part of Project Chrome. 10 people have been arrested and face charges in a combined 185 criminal code offenses related to trafficking of firearms and drug trafficking. Peel police say $1 million worth of drugs and ammunition were also recovered.
Okay, so you can have a drug bust of that size. You've got 10 guys that they know the names. They had them in custody, but 3 of them are released on conditions. So they're out and about. So why is it that it's okay for those 3 to be out and about? They are clearly involved in crime and smuggling guns and smuggling firearms. According to the media, this is the largest firearm seizure in all of Peel police history. And yet 3 guys involved in these charges are released on condition. So smuggling guns, smuggling drugs, smuggling fentanyl is okay, but going to a protest at the border will get you locked up for 900 days. I call BS. And the last story that I want to talk to you about today is, remember, this is our BC public health czar, this woman. Oh, Lord. Now, I often wonder, how is it going? I really stood up for the healthcare workers not having to take this non-working, jibber jabber. And I was just wanted to hear from people, because I know there still is a BC registry. They probably aren't going to make it that easy to go back to work. So exactly how is this all breaking down? So I did hear from somebody who wrote to me online. He's a community support worker, and he supports people with mental and physical disabilities in group home and day program settings. And they gave him a letter to say, you can come back to work. He showed me the letter, and I was like, oh, it was just a mean letter. It was worded like, almost like, hey, you leper, yeah, we'll let you come back now. Come on back, you scum of the earth. It was almost like that. So he was able to apply for his old position, but it was given to someone else. That person happened to have 5 jabs, so he told me. So then he had to apply for another position. So it was a bit of a waiting game. But this is a little bit of good news, a good news story. He did get the position. So he got the position that he applied for. It's 32 hours a week. He was doing 40 before all this fuckery. So now he's down to 32, and he says it is a bit of a step down for him, but he's back in the game, and he has enough seniority that he can make up his lost 8 hours by taking on-call shifts. And that's just one person's story of being out, not being able to see his clients. He could go there and like hug people, and because he was quite involved in supporting people. He was a support worker. But if you're getting paid, the virus only knows when you're collecting a paycheck. So you got to go. Somebody else is going to take your job. So I'm glad that he's back to work. That's one good news story. A lot of people have found other things to do and will never go back. The decision is up to you. If you want it, it should be yours to go back, to go and get with back pay and all the apologies that you deserve. Okay, so that's at least a little bit of good news in this wacky, wacky world. That's a little bit of Canadian content for me. I'll be back with more another time. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, share the video. There's all kinds of things in the description. If you want to subscribe to me for $3 a month, that would be great. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can through PayPal, or you don't have to do anything at all. Just like the video and subscribe. That's enough for me too, because that's great. That's good support. I'll be back with more another time. Thanks for watching a little CanCon.